Hello and welcome to Shelby Township Parks and Rec in the News. I'm Mike Adams, sitting in for Joe Youngblood today. We have Carrie Crozier here from the Nature Center, as always providing us with some great information about the Nature Center. Thanks for coming, Carrie.
Good to be here.
Thanks for coming. And what type of programs we got coming up here at the Nature Center with this lovely weather we're having?
Well, as you know, this weather is cold and bitter, so anytime you can do a nature program inside is kind of nice.
That's right.
We have a couple programs coming up the 27th of February. They're both free programs. The first one is from 1 to 3 p.m., and it is a backpacking 101 program. So whether you're going for a day hike or a 2-day hike or a week hike, the instructor is going to cover all of that, stressing on lightweight for packability, foods, necessities for emergencies, the basic stuff like that. But it's a very informative program, and he's a very good instructor. So that's Backpacking 101 from 1 to 3 on the 27th.
Okay.
And then in the evening at 7 p.m., we have an owl calling program where our naturalist, Mr. Farmer, will actually we'll meet in the Nature Center, go in the multipurpose room or the theater room, and go over some of the types of owls we could hear, some of the types of calls you could hear. And basically in that area, we can pick up screech owls, small owl, barred owls, a little bigger, or the great horned owl. And depending on the owl's location, sometimes we get all 3 owls, sometimes none. But it's a good time to be out and call for owls because it is the time of the season where the boy and girl owls like to say hi to each other.
Gotcha.
And it's a good time because if you call, there's a good chance you could get a male coming in to find out who's in his turf, checking out his girlfriends, or the girl saying, "Hey, come on down. It's time to talk about eggs."
That's right.
You know? So, and that's a free program also, 7 p.m., the 27th of February.
And that's probably the ideal time during the day to see owls in that?
Early evening, late morning. Those are the prime times because they're late, talking and getting back to their hidey roost, for the day, or they're just getting out saying, I'm the first kid out. I want to, who's out here? Hey, let's go look for mice, or it's prime time, dawn, dusk.
Which one of those owls are the ones that its head turns all the way around?
None of them actually, but it actually looks like they do. And if you see the feathers on their neck and you look at them and say, man, they got a big neck. But if you take a pencil, you can almost put it right through the middle because their necks are like smaller than the size of a quarter.
Just the feathers.
Yeah, when you see all the feathers on there, you think they're like a weightlifter, but they're not actually. And they can go not quite 360, but they can go almost one way and then almost the other way. So it looks like they can actually revolve around.
No voice naturalist over here. Didn't realize that. Any other programs coming up here that you want to discuss?
Yes, I do want to talk about one that's coming up in early March. It is our Exotic Animal Day. And
great event.
Oh, and well attended because we have a great speaker, Mr. Baker from Naturalist Endeavors, that come and does this. And he's brought alligators and some large snakes, even small tarantulas and scorpions. So it's a variety of animals. Some of our teens will bring in their exotic animals. Some have
ones you're not going to see every day.
Exactly. Right? And this is the best part. Every kid wants a pet. Well, this is a great opportunity for the parents to come and find out. This takes a lot of upkeep and housekeeping. Right. This is not a good pet for a kid, A good ethical disposal plan. They don't live long. Your kid's going to get crushed when it dies in 9 months. It's a good time to come and you get some information on some of these animals and learn a little bit and work on phobias.
So it's going to definitely help the parent out that their kid's pressuring them into
absolutely.
Getting one of these pets that are not only expensive, but a lot of upkeep and...
Exactly, and some come with a lot of maintenance as far as feeding. You got to feed them more. You got to feed them right. Not like a snake. We could feed them once every 2 weeks. They're good. This is a different type of animal that you got to feed every day, or like a turtle. My kid wants a turtle. Some turtles will live over to be 100 years old.
Yep, I have one.
Oh my goodness! Now you better hope your great-grandkids want turtles because they're going to get this turtle.
And a lot of these pets and animals are climate controlled too, so it's a huge upkeep with them, right?
Electricity, money. You got to have heating pads. You got to have certain lights for UV rating. Some people think you just feed a turtle worms. No, they have to have special diet for certain other proteins and fruits and vegetables and vitamins. Otherwise, the shells grow funny, the nails grow funny, and it's not good for the animals. So it's a good way to come and learn about some of these animals, so you can make a decision whether you want your child to have one or not.
Right, and this is an event that I think has been going on for a few years, hasn't it? Because I just remember hearing people talk about this event. It's just a great event.
Absolutely.
Really
Last couple of years, Mr. Baker brought a small crocodile or alligator, and people are freaking out. But people get those. When you have an animal and it's not a native animal, before you ever get that animal, you research what its needs and requirements are, and you take that next step an ethical disposal plan when you find out your kid after 2 weeks don't want that thing and you ain't taking it back to the pet store. An ethical disposal plan. These are all things that are mandatory when you take on the responsibility with any pet, really. For sure. You know, that is March 6th from 11 to 4. There is a $3 cost for anybody 4 years old and up. So it's a great way to come out, learn a little bit about animals, and maybe work on your phobias a little bit too. You know,
we know Mr. Youngblood has some of those.
He has a couple. I had
displayed those at some of the shows.
Yes, he has with the spider, and I remember that.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to work on phobias too, because you don't have to hold these, but you can take and actually learn and observe those, and maybe get a little close and work on them. I'm not a snake fan, you know, but when I started working on snakes, it was the very gentle ones, wearing gloves, and now I can actually hold certain snakes and not freak out, you know. And some people, spiders.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
Of course.
You know, it's in their wheelhouse. Well, there's certain spiders that they're totally harmless, and it's just a good educational experience. You know. Yeah. Learn about nature. Come out of the nature center.
That's what it's there for, right?
Perfect.
I know those are some events coming up, but I know we were going to talk about past events, but I think you guys just had the Winterfest at the Nature Center.
Well attended.
Yes, my son was there with his Cub Scout troop. I think there was a lot of scouts there.
There was about 3 or 4 different pack troops in there, absolutely. It's a very educational thing for getting merit badges and little cabin fever, get out, you know. Over 100 people. So it was very well attended. And also, just this past weekend, we had our Science Olympiad. You know, for homeschools and other groups that learn a little more about science, they come, they test on various subjects. Some is insects, some's mammals, some's fishes, you know. The subject varies. We have another one coming up, I believe, in March, you know, so they can call Parks and Rec at the Nature Center and get more information on that. But Science Olympia, another great great program.
I know, my son was talking about the Winterfest. I think they did a mold of
track
casts, and we have that up on our curio cabinet now. And
that's kind of neat because most of our programs, there is a hands-on version, and it's not just a lecture or PowerPoint. So it's a hands-on with a live animal or making a craft, or you're out in the woods actually doing something. You're not just sitting in the room watching a PowerPoint. That doesn't work.
Right, yeah. So they went for a walk at that event, right?
Yeah.
They went for a walk, did the cast, and he talked about it for a couple days.
It's good. I know you're into the sports thing, and it's a balance, and what people doesn't realize is you have to have the active recreation to be healthy and all that physically, but you also need the passive recreation when you need to turn it off and just go rest, recharge, hit it again hard. You know, it's a balance.
We want to get into talking a little bit about we were talking about hiking and with these events and the trails. A little bit of information on the trail system. We are experiencing finally some snow from this winter time.
I'm glad you said that.
So if you want to kind of update the residents on some of the paths and trails by the Nature Center, Riverbends Park, Woodall Park, which applies to most of our trail system. What happens when it snows? What's some of the procedures and the etiquette there on the trails?
Absolutely. You always take and be courteous to your fellow trail user, because some people are out there hiking, some are walking dogs. You know, we hope they're on the leash. They should be. If you do have a dog and dog has to take care of business, you take it with you. You put it in a can. You know, it's proper protocol. We have many trails in the park. We just have that new section that's completed down to Utica. You know, most of the trails are paved. We do have some gravel ones, but what some people need to take into consideration, being this season, is there is some grades and pitch to some of those, and unfortunately sometimes the trail users get out before our snow removal crews can get out and plow these trails, so there could be slip hazards and danger issues associated with that. So if you come out and you beat the plows, make sure you have your phone, so if you do get in some kind of trouble, you could call for assistance and somebody can help you. But there's a lot of great trail systems in the park. Good time to walk. We were out just the other day looking for some historical information on our Clinton Kalamazoo Canal. We seen deer. In another section, I noticed that I seen these tracks, and I noticed they were a little on the big side. They were fox, you know. They weren't your squirrel tracks, but they were fox tracks. And it's just neat to going up and seeing what you can see, and providing it's not single digits, you know, getting some fresh air and getting a little exercise, because it's this time of year where you get cabin fever, you know.
And like you said, when it does snow, the maintenance guys, that might not be their first stop.
It's not their first priority.
You know, not first priority, but they do get there in a timely manner, and they will get those cleared. So if we do experience a large snowfall,
be patient.
Give it a day, be patient, and they'll definitely be out there clearing those best they can.
Exactly. Sure. I mean, police and fire, we got to make sure those guys are ready to roll, and we got to make sure the township offices and the senior centers and other places in this system. And unfortunately, you know, it's the trails that get hit last, and you know, a little patience is all.
And
patience.
besides just walking, biking, has there anyone been once in a while we get the snowshoe call or the cross country call? Have you seen anybody out there recently? Has that been popular?
Have not been seeing the snowshoe people as of yet, but they do come out. I mean, and it's usually on the 22 side because that way they can go all the way down towards Utica and back. Oh, yeah. And it seems to be the more popular side of the river for that particular activity. But off trails, when you talk about our waterways in the park, Steelhead are running, Michael. I was just talking to a gentleman the other day down by Yates's. Yes.
Already?
Yes, and he had a fake egg imitation on a leader under a bobber, floating it down the river. And these two gentlemen, I was fishing for information on our Facebook, and they caught 4. Wow. One guy caught 3, and there was like anywhere from 16 to 20 inches. Nice, clean, fresh fish. These are steelhead.
Doesn't seem about 3 weeks early.
It depends. We've had a lot of rain.
Yeah.
We have had some warm weather. So yes, I mean,
the
sometimes
rain levels can come up.
Absolutely. Sometimes they'll start in early January. Sometimes they won't start till February. And sometimes they'll be all done by the end of February. Sometimes they'll run almost April 1st. But the steelhead are running right now, and these guys caught 4.
Without giving up any of your secret spots, is there good fishing areas inside Riverbends Park?
All through that stretch of the river from DeQuinta Road all the way down to the city of Utica. Basically, you get out there and
find a hole.
A bobber. A different lake leader, flip it out there, keep drifting it past. Anything with a salmon egg imitation, pink, red, orange. Some people use lures. A lot of snags in the river. You can loosen lures. Yeah. Little tiny hook with a little fake salmon egg or bead on it. Perfect. Fuzzball, bead, pink. It all works good. Walk the river edge. But anytime you're in the river, summer, fall, especially winter, a caution. Oh, yeah. With all the high water, with the rains, with the different fluctuating water levels, the banks get undercut. Yeah. And not knowingly it could crumble and tumble you in the river. You're wearing waders, wear a belt around the top of the waders, because when it fills up with water, your feet will kick out, you're a bobber, you can't get your head up, you could drown, So be very mindful of river safety, but get out there and enjoy it, because there's some awesome fishing starting right now.
I know, it seems like a couple weeks early, but I'm glad to hear that. I've never tried Yates, but you always see those guys out there, and
that's where they start, because it's right at the dam. I mean, sometimes above the dam, but right at that dam and work your way south. Plenty of paths along the river. Be mindful of undercut banks. Right. Look for structure that you can float your lure past, your little, a presentation past, bends, snags, roots, things, and float them past, because they're a predator fish. Right. They'll sit back in the slack water and wait for something to go by and hit it, So absolutely, get out and enjoy.
Very good. We have fishing, we have snowshoeing, we have cross country.
It's all good.
Some of the other things we have in the parks, I know the maintenance guys are working on the ice rink over at Mace Stecker.
Looking good.
Looking good coming up here.
Yes, sir.
Been a little touch and go the past couple weeks with 40-degree and rain, but we're looking pretty good. Again, please be patient. The guys, I think have been flooding that 5 or 6 times trying to get that, so please be patient on the ice rink at Mace Stecker. We will post on our Facebook.
Or they can call.
And we'll have that information for you, but we're hoping the next few days here coming up that we'll be able to get that ice rink up for everybody. It's in the tennis courts this year. It's going to be a great surface. It's going to be nice and flat. The lights, under the lights, it's going to be great. So please be patient. Hopefully that'll be up. And then before we know it, Carrie, one last thing I want to talk about is the boater safety course. That's March 5th and March 12th. Residents can call for some more information, 731-0300, but they do need to attend both of those days.
Yep.
Can you give some insights on maybe your experiences or what people should need to know about boater safety?
There's a bunch of things out there that people take for granted. They just think they can get on the boat and go out there and drive, but you need to make sure you're familiar with your lake surface that you're on, because there are rocks and shoals and structure. And then we get to etiquette. An anchored boat, what side do you pass on? You know what I mean? It's not powered. It's a sailboat. Who has the right of way? It's just. I mean, these are all things you need to know, because the sheriff is on the lake, and just because you don't know, don't mean you won't get a ticket. You have to know these things, and even people who have had boats for years, go. I've taken hunter safety twice. It's a good reminder. Boater safety, take it. It's a good reminder.
If there's just one thing that you forgot, one new thing you can pick up on, it will be very beneficial.
Well, and as me and Joe and everybody has said is first off, it's got to be safe. Then fun. And it's all gravy after that. So safety is paramount, because if it's not any activity, whether it's sports, whether it's outdoor pursuits or boating, it starts with safety, because just one little oops, and now it's a bad experience for everybody, and it could be fatal, So, yeah, take it, man. It's just good refresher information.
Yep. Again, March 5th and March 12th, 9 to 1. They can call Parks and Rec at 731-0300 to register for more information. Last event I want to talk about is our annual Daddy-Daughter Dance we had Thursday, February 11th, over at Cherry Creek Golf Course. I believe we have some footage of the Daddy-Daughter Dance. It was a great event, sponsored by Genesis Credit Union. We had over 215 participants, Carrie.
Good venue over there, too.
It was beautiful. Wasn't warm enough like the Mother-Son Dance where the boys like to run in the golf course, unfortunately, but the girls and dads had a great time. We have some great footage that we can see here in a minute coming up. And again, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Credit Union. They've been a great sponsor, able to help us to put on these events. So we do want to thank Genesis Credit Union. So let's take a look at some of the footage from the 2016 Daddy-Daughter Dance. As you can see, the dads and daughters had a great time. I myself attended this event with my daughter and some of her friends and dads, and it was a great event. It always is there. Food's good, DJ was good, and like you said, the venue's good, Carrie, over there, and just a great event to spend some time with our daughters.
Or sons,
or sons.
Past one, but it's good bonding time for parents and their children to go out, and it's just them.
For sure. Lastly, we want to bring out, we have a very special guest today, and no, it is not Joe Youngblood.
No.
Nope, it's someone better. Carrie, do you have our special guest today?
I do, and if they want to check on Facebook, they can see that we have the Employee of the Month, and the Employee of the Month is Pepper. Pepper is a mammal. We don't have many mammals at the Nature Center, so it's nice when our teen volunteers bring in some of their babies to allow us to teach with them. Pepper will be with us till the end of February, so if you want to come by and visit Pepper, you're welcome to. Pepper is a rat, and rats are becoming more and more popular in the pet trades. A lot of our teen volunteers have rats. They're very clean. This one happens to be a Dumbo rat, and I did not know this, but there's color phases like cats and dogs and species, and this is a Dumbo rat, and because of the ears.
Oh, yeah.
She's a little sweetheart.
They're pretty intelligent, aren't they? More
Very
than
intelligent.
people give them credit for.
Smarter than some people out there. Very intelligent, trainable, very clean. Every time I turn around and see Pepper, she's grooming herself. Yeah. So they're not dirty and stinky, and people think, oh, they got diseases. Well, they don't carry meningitis. That's humans.
Yeah.
So anything can carry a virus, dogs, parvo, skunks, rabies. So anything can carry, but actually they're very, very clean. And this is Pepper.
I know a lot of the volunteers at some of the events or at the Nature Center bring their animals in. I know we had chickens.
Oh, Jeremy and his chickens. You got to have 50 of them.
The kids love the chickens at the events.
We have a young lady that it's snakes. She is into her snakes. And it's cool because we can't always keep all the different kinds of animals, and they learn a lot. They help us by giving us additional teaching aids, and it's just interesting. I mean, she doesn't bite. She's a sweetheart. She's super clean.
That's another mammal that people can come to the Nature Center event if they're there and
absolutely
handle if possible. And
Exotic Animal Day. Pepper and some of the other rats will be there, as well as Jeremy's chickens, some of Lauren and Ryan's rabbits. So not everybody wants to see the scaly, slimy ones. They want to have the warm, fuzzy ones that love people, right, Pepper? She's a sweetheart. But it's another good teaching aid, you know, and why not, man? It's a companion animal.
Well, thanks for bringing her in, Carrie. Thanks for coming on the show again. And
It's always fun.
there's always great animals at the Nature Center. Do we still have the large tortoise over there?
The large tortoise we do not, but we do watch another traveling naturalist tortoise periodically when he goes on vacation. No?
Yeah, the animals are great at the Nature Center. If you've never been to the Nature Center, it's right off Ryan Road, right where Hamlin Dead ends into Ryan, Riverbends Drive. Big log cabin you've probably seen if you headed down Ryan Road. So
Stop in.
Stop in.
Wednesday through Sunday.
I was going to say, can you give the hours really quick, Wednesday through Sunday?
Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, noon till 5.
Noon to 5.
Yep.
Well, there you have it.
Stop by. If we have time, we'll get an animal out for you. You know, sometimes we can't. But, you know, if we can, we get one out for you. And they're just neat.
Very good. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, residents, for watching Shelby Township Parks and Rec in the News. We try to keep you guys updated on everything that's happening in our department, the Nature Center, the Senior Center. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you.